Hey there, today I want to talk about tactics, specifically about how to play against the big boys like Hulk and MODOK. My name is Nate, and welcome to the Gamers Guild. Alright, before the game starts, before you pick objectives, before anything, take a look at your opponent's characters and their tactic cards. If you see a big boy in a tactic card like Psychic Fortress or Gamma Launch, there's a decent chance your opponent wants to put their big guns down on the table. A way to prevent this from stage 1 is to pick an objective that doesn't favor the smaller strike squads. Things like Extremis Console and Spider Infected are both missions where characters will be spread out. As well, with things like Spider Infected, only one objective can be held per character. These are ways from before models even hit the table that you can put the big models on their back foot. From there, I have 3 ways that I've seen effectively deal with the more expensive characters, but each requires models that are good at the job at hand. The first one is Keep Away. One of the advantages of the 65mm base size is that a short move is able to keep up with all of the 35mm base characters that move medium. However, this is also something you can turn against them, with throws and pushes to get them out of position. Iron Man's Repulsor Blast and Red Skull's Unleash the Cube both don't care about size and will let you push and throw, well, any character. As well, Spider-Man and Venom's Web Pool will get them out of place, or if you brought your own big gun to the game, both of them have good ways of controlling the table with throws or MODOK's Advance. The second option for handling the bigger guys is handing out status conditions. Stagger, stun, bleed, whatever you can throw at them to make them waste an action will make their big threat much less effective, even if only for a turn. In addition to numerous characters that can do this on their own, team tactic cards like Trip Up and Disarm will also help make the big threats much less threatening. Now, these 2 strategies require objectives to be a bit more spread out, and for your spread of characters, need to have a good ways to push or put on status effects pretty easily to really be effective. The idea behind these 2 strategies is the same though. It's to cut down on the big guys' action economy by making them move back into position, clearing off static conditions, or just making less than optimal plays in general. For these strategies, I would recommend characters like Spider-Man, Red Skull, Black Widow, Iron Man, and MODOK. Not all on the same list, but at least 3 of these types of more controlling characters would be really effective. The last strategy I can recommend is Assassination. The game plan is pretty straightforward and simple. You want to get at least a couple of your heavy hitters in place to be able to take down a big guy in a single swoop. You'll usually want to do at least a little bit of chip damage beforehand to the character in question before making it run at them, whether it is because they have a lot of health or annoying defensive abilities that can get in the way. But the hope is to pile on all of the damage suddenly so that your opponent's characters don't get a chance to use all the power they're going to receive from the damage they take. The best way to set this up is by getting in some chip damage, and hopefully your opponent has moved the target close enough to your characters that they can double attack for their actions. The best case is also if your opponent has already activated their big threat early on, so that way they can't retaliate at all to the beating you're about to put down. So, go in with your heavy hitters for the KO. If you have ways to power up your attacks with rerolls or extra dice, now is the time. Danvers should go binary, Zemo should use Swordmaster, or bring out the 1-2 punch from your team tactic cards. Models best suited to this kind of attack, in my opinion, are Captain Marvel, Ultron, Killmonger, Venom, and, well, Hulk. So the question I find that I'm asking myself is whether or not it is worth so much effort to take out or disarm a single model. And the easy answer is yes. Hulk and MODOK are both snowball models, meaning that if they just get to go unchecked, they can become a bigger and bigger problem until it's too late to deal with them. If MODOK can just sit on the back row and use Psionic Blast to get power and steal power for later Doomsday Chair attacks, your team will get picked apart if he is left unchecked. And Hulk will snowball if you put a little bit of damage on him but don't get him off the table. Heck, even a perfectly healthy Hulk can throw size 4 things around and thunderclap for value all day. The more complicated answer is probably most of the time yes, but if the objectives are spread out enough, there may not be as much of a pressing need for it. Being able to disable a model that is about 1/3 of your opponent's forces works pretty well either way. So, play how you want, but I hope that some of these thoughts and tips can help bring down the next Jolly Green Giant that you go up against. Anyways, if you enjoyed this and want more videos about tips and how to play against certain characters or enemies, hit the like button, or if you have another tip about bringing down big threat characters, leave it in the comments down below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and as always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.